Good morning, everyone. And previous class we discussed about the DOM, right? Document Object Model, and there are the how you can use the DOM in your JavaScript and what is the purpose of DOM. Now we have something called event types. So what are the event types we have? And that is the specified by W3C. And there are several event types out there. You can see that the first one is we have like mouse events, keyboard events, form events, and frame events. What is the mouse event? You know very well. Everyone use your desktop computer or your laptop, and mostly people having the habit of using mouse. They can't do without the mouse, right? We can do the operation, but it will be a little slow, and it will take some time to move from one screen to another screen, and so on. So here we have the several mouse events. Generally, when you operate the mouse, you will see that we have left click, right? When you have the clicking, right? When you click on that, what functionality is going to happen, right? And when you double click, what will happen? When your mouse goes down, up, when you put the mouse on the particular, that means you have not clicked, then what effect will be there? These are called as your mouse events. Like you can see the first one, on click is the event. When you click on the particular button or anything, what functionality need to operate? That is the called as event, like on click. On DBL click, that means on double click. When you double click, what will happen? On mouse down, when you are pressing the down, means the mouse press down over the element. When you want to release over the element, that is on mouse up. When you use on mouse over, that means you keep the mouse on the particular text or button. You can see the different effects are there. On mouse out, when you move the mouse, what element, that means what effect will be there. Similar way, on mouse move, that means when moved while over the element. These are the mouse events you have to use in the JavaScript or in the DOM. Next, we'll talk about the keyboard event. In keyboard, what you have? You can press down arrow key or up arrow key, right? So on key down, on key press, on key up, right? When you press the keys, any key, what will happen, right? When you goes down, that means when you design the page, and if you write that no, when someone is scroll down, it should go up, you can do that one also, right? So that all event will be handled with the event handling. The same thing is here. You can see the example over here, right? So keyboard event. I have created a button, okay, and given the ID as a key example. Now this is like, you know very well, this is like an input box, right? And this will be listen, which that is the key example, whatever you are going to define in key example. Then I want in this to define when click will happen, that means when key will be pressed, then something, that means some alert users will be shown as a some alert. Then how you can do that? Then you have to write the code like document dot, same way yesterday we have seen, get element by ID. So what is the ID? ID we are going to take as a your input box ID, that is the key example, right? On dot, what event you want? On key down. Then you are creating the function my function, pass the return parameter as a e. Now create the variable, come to the function. Now get any raw key, right? So create a variable e dot key code, right? It take the key code, that means it will get the raw code. And then what you are going to do? You are going to convert this into the string, right? And what you have to do? Var, create a variable, that is the character. And you know very well in Java, we have used to convert character or anything into the string, that you have to use the string dot the particular method, right? Same way I am using here, string dot from char code. That means this is the method from char code, and then I am using as a key press. So whatever it has been taken in the key press, it will convert into the string. And now you want to alert, give the alert, then you give the alert message, that is the method alert. What do you want? You want to give a key, the character plus watch break. That means which key has been pressed, right? That means it will display a W key, W was pressed. That means you have seen that, right? Some of the website, if you click, then it will show this key has been pressed, which is not used. So how they do that? They do this way only. The keyboard events or mouse event, they write the code, and this all will be managed with the help of your DOM, okay, and event handling. So when the listener that hears, and it will give the alert by the key press, what you are pressing on that. The next form event, you are using some form, right? So when you create the form, what will happen? That means how the form event is going to happen. You know that, right? When you fill that any Google form or anything, some of the website, what they will do, they will highlight, that means you have to enter this thing over here, something you are going to enter, right? How it is happening? Actually, it's happening with the form event. You can see the we have used here like on blur. If you use this on blur method, that means a form element has lost focus. That is, the control will be moved to a different element. Okay, and like when you press the tab button, just you observe whenever you are filling any form, just keep pressing tab button. Then you will see that means the highlighting, it will get blurred, right? That means it is not highlighted. That means focus will be not there on the particular element when you moved. Next, you have something called as on change. Like on change, in this what you are doing, like you are going to use like input, text area, and select. And there is some value, right? That means when you have select, that means you are going to select several cities. In that one city you have to select. That means when you want, that means you are going to change the choice. That means you are going to select a choice. When you have this kind of approach, then you are going to use into the method, that is the on change. When you want to use on focus, that means you did some mistake while filling the form, right? You have observed when you do some mistake and hit submit button on the form, it will highlight you, that is, this email ID is wrong, or the phone number what you have entered, it is wrong, and it will highlight the particular input box. That is actually, it will happen, and it will give you the focus. That means the complementing the on blur event, and this will be focus, it will be highlighted. Yes, this method need to be performed. Then on reset, like if you whatever the form you have filled, something you find no data is not, I want to reset the form. So what you have to do? Generally we do the refresh the page. But if you use directly a method event like on reset, whatever it is the form event will trigger, that automatically it will get reset. On select, when user selects some text, and this will be oftenly used to try to prevent copy paste. You have seen some of the website, copy paste will be not allowed. If you try to copy from with help of mouse, it will not. And next, on submit. That means when you submit the form, the event will be triggered, and whatever the validation you have written, the code for the validation, that once the user submit, what are the data you are going to collect and where it is going to be submit, that all will be happen finally with the on submit event. You can see the example here. The same way in HTML you have to use the ID. I'm using the ID as a login form, okay, and I'm giving the same on submit. When we hit submit button, what function I want, you can see here. Again, I'm creating here an anonymous function and you are passing the parameter e. Then you are writing variable, okay, any variable, just same way, write document by ID, just pw.value. Then pass, if pass is equal to null, empty, right? That means what? You have a form where you have to compulsory enter the password. Hope you remember when you have sign up on Gmail or your Facebook or any account anywhere where you have to give the username, password. First, don't give any username or password and then submit, do the submit button. Then it will give you that. The password should not be empty. That means the same method they apply like this way only. If password is equal to null character, empty. If it is empty, that means it will give an alert message enter a default. And you can see that I have used here e.prevent default. What does it mean that? That means some of the website, what they will do, well, if you submit the button, if anything is not there, that means you have missed to enter anything, automatically the page will get refreshed. So again you have to fill entire form. To avoid this, okay, that only the highlighted feature, that means button, it should go there, you have to enter and submit. So that's why we are preventing the default functionality. Okay, and this will be, so in this example what happened, on submit event will be cached and it will validate the password to the, if it is blank, right, like this. This is the form event example. Next you have frame event. What is the frame? What you are using, any website, okay, whichever website you are using on your, so that is like a window only. You have seen that especially when you open any website and you will find out there you will be having like pop-up. What is the pop-up? It is a frame, it is a window which is getting loaded when you click on that, or automatically it will open on the website, right? So same way there we have something called as frame event. Then what is this frame event? The frame event are the events related to the browser frame that contains web page, as I said, right? That means it will contain a web page, okay? That means whatever the web page you are using, and it will be especially we use for the advertisement purpose or any other thing, right? That, like a pop-up message, or if you want to open some information when I click as a frame, then also you can do that. And the most important part in this frame event, that you can add this into on load event. That means when the browser get loaded, right, when any object is getting loaded, it's ready to work, right, it's ready to display, that means it's ready to, the functionality will start working. And this code attempt to set up a listener, this is not yet loaded, like a division, and then it will be, the error will be triggered. Like you can see the example. If you want to use a frame event, then how you can do that? You have to apply like this, window dot on load. That means the moment Windows, that means the browser is getting load, what functionality you want actually, that you have to write the JavaScript within this, and this frame event will work. Next we have about the forms, okay, this, let's see that what is the form. Whenever you are filling the form, you have seen that many things are there, like validation, submission, right, the format of your mobile number, the format of your email ID, everything will be there in this. And that when you are submitting, there should be no error. because you cannot correct that once you submit the form. So what happened? Before submission, you have to validate the form. Okay. Then writing the code to pre-validate form to the client side will reduce the number of incorrect submission, thereby reducing server load. What does it mean? As I mentioned, when you are filling the form, okay, in the form they have asked you have to enter the email ID. What do? You will write abc@gmail.com. Yes, correct. It is the email ID. But what happened if suppose server side, if they want to send the mail to you, what happened? The mail will get bounced because you have given incorrect details, right? Or someone will write in the email ID like ABC, or they will write in the email ID, they will write their name. Then what will happen? If they are writing their name, then what will happen? Again, it is incorrect submission. And server side again they have to, the load will get increased. That means it has to be again correct. To avoid these activities, okay, there should be a validation to be used. That means pre-validation, like email validation, as I said, number validation, data validation. Right? That means this all you have to use here, and you have to define here. Okay, and then you define this thing and it will work. That means your data validation will be perfect. It will go, okay, like this way. You can see the example here, right? And please, this whatever we are seeing the example, please implement this technique. You implement only a small model. Then you will get to know the idea that how it can be added into your website. Like you create a simple form where you give some data. Okay. First, definitely you are going to create with the normal HTML, CSS. That means, and better always you do HTML5 and CSS3. When you do that one, then you just submit. Have the submit. It will get automatically submit because nothing is there. Or on submit, nothing is there. Next step, you write the code. Separate, you write a JavaScript file. Okay, and that form element, whenever you are creating the form, that ID you are going to specify as a login form. Now you have to write the JavaScript. That means the field value, whatever the field value you are using there, that should be not empty or null value, right? Then what you are going to do? Suppose you are giving a username. Then what? This code you have to use. Like same way, on submit event, you are going to give the anonymous function, the function parameter e, create a variable, field value. Okay, any value you can create, it's up to you. Then the element ID, that means in the form you have the input type as a username, that means input box, that is username dot value. So there you are taking the value. If field value, that means whatever the value, it will check that field. If it is null or it is empty, that means the form will stop submission. Okay, and it will prevent default functionality. And it will give you the alert, please enter a username. Like this way only any form functionality will be working. And this you have to implement. The same way you have used for this username, same way if you have another next input box, sorry, input box where you want the password to be taken. Then again when you are taking the password, anyone type anything, right? Anyone can do anything. But you want to restrict. What do you want to restrict? You want to give only alphabetics and numerical value. You want to use a special character. Again, for that you have to write JavaScript to check that anyone who is writing the code in that should be like to be checked. That is what a special parameter you are defining. That is like, then only you can validate the forms. As I mentioned, right? I said if you want to ensure the checkbox is ticked, right? If suppose you have a form where you have to, okay, what are the subject you have studied? There some subject name will be there, right? Like C, C++, Java, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, jQuery, Python, and somebody will not click on anything, right? Then how it will happen? Then you have to ensure that yes, the user should check anyone at least. Then you have to again validate the form. It should not be empty, right? Then how you can do? The same way, just check the input field, create a variable. What ID you have defined, take that ID, and now input field dot type, because what is the type? The type is checkbox, right? Then if input field dot checked, that means your input field, that is your whatever you have defined, that is checked or not. If it is checked, then you are going to further process the functionality. If it is not checked, you are going to give alert or what you want. You can write the code accordingly that you can do that. This is the another validation for the checkbox. The same way, as I said, right? You want only numeric to check, right? Then how you can do that? For the number validation, you have to define a function. You can see your function is numeric, because then you have to pass your return type, that is return not is not nan, it is not available, okay, and convert parse float, that is floating into the number, and check is finite, that is the number. This function will test for the numeric value. If you define any numeric value, this will be used for the number validation, and you have to use this one. Now at the final stage, you are going to hit the submit button, and accordingly, if you are using like gender, then you are using radio button, right? Then radio button you have to select any one radio button, right? Even that you can write the function. That it's a totally up to you what are the input box you are giving in your form, right? So next, like at the last, you are going to hit the submit. That means the moment you click the submit, what happened? You have created a JavaScript and where you have the login form, right? That form ID is login form. The moment you click, that is the form example.submit, you will get submit. And this often done in the conjunction with calling prevent default on submit event. Whatever we have seen now, okay, that you have to write one code. Just write only, okay, if I am giving username empty, what alert will give. Next you add for password. Next you add for email ID. Next you add for contact number. Next you add for gender. Next you add for the country. This all slowly you have to fill, and then you execute. Then you will get the idea. As I said, right? It's on Uacademy only. Okay, anyway, this you can see here. I'm defining the email ID, okay? Here we have given, okay, email ID, password. See, by default, the gender is selected, right? The country is by default the first, always alphabetical letters, it will come. So the moment you change, see, I'm going to change. See, the page is not get loaded, but earlier, the moment change the any selection box, it will get loaded. The page will reload again. You can see that everywhere it is there. Now let's hit submit button. What will happen? So I'll just come down. I'm not filling any data. but I've used here CAPTCHA for the bot, because otherwise the bot will come and start do the registration process. Okay, and register. See what happened? Invalid email ID, email or password. Okay. Let's give email ID or password, then what will happen? Okay, now see, the moment I press the tab, you can see that it is the highlighting feature is there too short, because I have not entered anything. Let's enter, I am typing password as a Pankaj. See, the moment I give my name, it is saying it is weak password. Let's give the name as a U Academy only, even still weak. Let's change this one. Okay, PK 2021. See, still it is weak. If I give here @ symbol, see that the moment I gave the @ symbol, that is combination of number and a special character, it is saying good. This is all JavaScript, and here I am giving this as an inline print, because this is server side. So when you learn PHP, then only this can be possible. It means you are going to print the result over here. Okay, what is the good? Okay, if suppose I'll give one more any other character, see, it's become strong. I'll give one more number. Now strong is enough, right? So weak, okay, first step is there too short, weak and strong, this password is there. Okay, weak, good and strong. We have 3 different steps where it says that the password what you are giving, at what level you have defined. That means securing your password. Now let's go and again submit. What will happen? It was asking for the validation, right? Okay, I'll click on register. What happened? Email already registered, because I have not given. It will take automatically once the user register as an individual, and they can. The same way we have the features on the student side also. They can okay, like this way you can test any application. Even you can check the like Facebook itself. Okay, we'll go to the Facebook. Okay, now see, I'll create account. I'll click on sign up. See that? What is your name? It is highlighting. Okay, I'll give the name and I'll click on sign up. See? That means now on focus, it is going to here. What is your name? That means your surname. Okay, I'll give again and hit sign up. See, again the focus has been moved to the next element. This is the event of the focus. That is the tab the moment it's moved. Like this way also you can write. It totally depends on how you are going to display for the users. If they are doing the mistake, then how? See, I will give the abc@abc.com. Okay, sign up. See, it's taken. Again, it's asking validation. Give, sign up. See, so this, it will not predict the email ID. Always it should be @any domain name. What I'll do, I'll remove this @ symbol. Okay, and now let's see. See, it is highlighting. Enter a combination of 6 number. Okay, password. Let's enter the password. Okay, first. Okay, see the password. Please enter a valid mobile number or email ID. It is not, because the moment you add @, it will denote this is an email ID. Like that way. If it is asking next password, I'll give the password, or it is asking mobile number. Okay, let's try with the mobile number. I'll give 123456789 Okay, now let's hit submit. See, it will take. But this is this correct number? No, but it is taking. You type anything, because might be this can be number for any call center, for anything, right? 9 8 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Okay, 9 10. I'm writing some more number. Okay, see what happened? Enter the valid mobile number. That means it will take only 10 digits, right? Like this way you can use. Even you can see the password. Okay, I'll give password 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Okay, sign up. Can you still see that the mobile number it is giving error? We'll go with the 10 digit. Sign up 2 4 6 8 9 10. Okay, sign up. See, now it is coming age 18. Sign up. See, it is taking. So it is not asking anything to check. Now it is saying that please choose a gender. If you give the custom, also it will work. See, if you click on sign up, it will highlight now in the custom what you want. You want to say he or she, which way you want. I'll just sign. See, it's not right. That means number code, right? Like this. Even if you want to change, you can change this. Like this way, the form validation. If you want to see the code, just inspect this element. You can see here. See, as I mentioned, right? iframe. The moment you clicked the another window for sign up, it is getting open. And what is there? This is the common/reference frame.php. That page is getting open. So let's take this page. Okay, come to the Facebook, give /reference.common.php, just close it. But you can see here, when I refresh this, nothing is there. Some script is there. So that is the related to the script domain. That is the on facebook.com only. It is nothing is there. Like that way. This way you can write the code as per your requirement using JavaScript. And this will be very much useful if you write the code for the certain thing. Okay, like filling the form, using